the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. I'm going to start right there. I'm going to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who grew well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. And Shalom to the 140 and 4,000. It's the brother Amawan Padaf from the GMS Denver camp, doing a lesson on how the end of all things is pretty much here, man. All right, the Lord is wrapping this society up. All right, and it's happening very, very rapidly. All right, all the end time prophecies are on the table as we speak. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right, we are at the very last seconds, of this wicked rulership ran by the Edomites. The heathen are getting ready to be taken out. The 2/3 getting ready to be purged out. All right, the elect are getting ready to be saved and receive those crowns of eternal life. This is where we're at, man. We're at that time. Our Yahweh Shai is about to return to the earth, man. So the end of all things, right, being this society and everything in it, is coming to an end. I mean, the end of all things is here, should I say. All right, now I want to get into an aspect of that. One major aspect of the end or of end time prophecy is World War III. Okay, the scriptures call it the War of Armageddon. All right, and recent happenings, man, are showing us that, hey, the Lord about to bring this thing very soon. Because, matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and play the video clip. All right, so fair use, fair use. All right.
It's quite the busy Monday in Doha. Arab and Muslim world leaders have gathered in the Qatari capital. The reason? An emergency summit. A summit of the Arab League and the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And what is it about? Well, officially, it's a response to Israel's strike on Qatar. The one that happened last week. We told you about it. Israel attacked Doha, the capital of Qatar. It said it was targeting Hamas leaders who lived in Doha. Well, the attack failed to kill them, but it enraged the Arab and Muslim world. Qatar called it a breach of sovereignty. It said the Israeli strike was cowardly.
Israel claims to be a democracy surrounded by enemies, while in reality it is building an occupation and apartheid system hostile to its surroundings and waging a war of extermination during which it has committed crimes that know no red lines.
So officially, the meeting was about this strike, but unofficially, it has become a stage for something far more ambitious. There are talks of a joint Arab-Islamic military force, or as they call it, an Arab NATO. And the idea itself is not new, by the way. It was first floated by Egypt back in 2015. That's when the Yemen war began, so Egypt proposed a joint force to coordinate between Arab armies. But it did not take off. There was too much skepticism and mistrust. And that was 10 years back. Today, the picture is remarkably different. Israel has crossed a new line. It has been fighting wars in this region for decades, but bombing Doha is a first. It's not the same as attacking Gaza or Beirut. This is a wealthy Gulf capital, a top American ally, and a key mediator in the Gaza war. So the Arab Muslim world is furious, and suddenly an Arab NATO does not sound like such a bad idea. Leading the charge again is Egypt. They floated the idea of a Cairo-based command. They want the first commander to be an Egyptian. After all, Egypt has West Asia's biggest army. But it won't be all Egypt. They've proposed rotating leadership, meaning all Arab League members will get a chance to take charge. The idea is to create a joint military force complete with air, land and naval units, also special operations teams, trained for counter-terrorism and peacekeeping. But is all of this symbolism, or will it lead to real action? And I'll tell you why I ask this. The Arab world has no shortage of summits or calls for solidarity. What it lacks is execution. And then there's the lack of consensus. Everyone wants something different here. Iran wants all Muslim countries to sever ties with Israel. Egypt wants hard military infrastructure in Cairo. And Qatar wants legal guarantees for its sovereignty. How do you reconcile all these demands? How do you stitch them into one coherent strategy? But let's for a moment assume that they pull it off. Then they will face their next challenge, the United States of America. For decades, the US has been the security guarantor in West Asia. Its bases stretch from Kuwait to Bahrain to Qatar. And now Arab leaders are openly wondering if the US will step up to protect them. And in case you are wondering, the US did condemn Israel's strike in Doha, but only in the mildest of terms. And then Secretary of State Marco Rubio landed in Israel. He'll soon be heading to Qatar. So to float the proposal of an Arab NATO during this visit, maybe a polite message to Washington. If you won't defend us, we will defend ourselves. But what would it mean for West Asia? If, and it's a big if an Arab NATO were to take shape, the map of West Asia could shift overnight. For Israel, certainly it would be a major shift. For years, Netanyahu's strategy was to normalize ties with Arab states, to sideline the Palestinian issue. The Abraham Accords were supposed to be the model, a peace deal to change West Asia. That was the plan. But an Arab NATO flips that script. And for the US, it would mean losing leverage in the region, a region that it has dominated for decades. But could it actually work? History says, don't bet on it. Previous attempts at Arab unity have collapsed under the weight of egos, rivalries, and geopolitics. But history also teaches us this, that crises create openings. Israel's strike on Doha could be that moment. We'll have to wait and watch.
All right, so once again, fair use, fair use. So you see what's going on right here. All right. So due to the state of Israel, those 1948ers, their attack on the city of Doha in Qatar, all right, you have these Arab nations now calling to band together, all right, to make a so-called Arab or Muslim NATO to go against Israel, all right? Now, you understand that Israel is defended by who? The U.S., America, Babylon the Great. So we're watching, tensions surface, man, between the East and the West. Let's get some precepts. It's all prophecy, man. This is all prophecy leading to World War III, the last war. All right, here we have the book of Revelation, chapter 16 and verse 12. This comes to mind right here. And it's prophetic. It says, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." Okay, so the kings of the east, who is that referring to? That's referring to the leaders over there in the eastern part of the world, man. All right, Arabs included. Okay, they're finna go to war with the state of Israel and the West. All right, being America, Babylon the Great. And that's a prophecy that's taking place right now. The Euphrates River is drying up. Let's get a look at a map real quick. All right, here's a map right here. And as you can see, they have the Euphrates River highlighted. And you see the countries, all right, that are on the right side, the east, all right? And then you see on the left, the west side is what? You see Israel. And then farther west, you're going to have what? Europe, and then the Americas. All right. If that river dries up, it's going to make it easier for military troops to cross over into that area to go to war with the West. So check this out. This came out 3 days ago. All right. It says Euphrates River is drying. What lies beneath? So this is prophecy taking place, man. The Bible is faithful and true. The words are faithful and true. It's happening, man. Everything that's said to happen is going to happen. All the end time prophecies are on the table as we speak. All right. And we're focusing on the last war, World War III. Let's play a little bit of this real quick.
Longest river, the Euphrates, dries up.
From Iraq, where officials say the country's water reserves have dropped to their lowest level in 80 years.
The longest river has receded, parching trees and leaving families of local farmers without water to drink.
The Euphrates River is drying up rapidly in 2025. This video was recorded in Iraq, near one of the country's largest dams, the Haditha Dam. You can find its location on Google Maps. The river is shrinking at an alarming rate. The most concerning part is that it's drying up even faster than the government had predicted. According to the Iraqi government, the Euphrates could completely dry up by 2040.
All right, Salaki, I'm going to pause it right there. You see it, man. This Bible is the truth, man. All right, now you see that sign right there? It's the symbol of Omega, if you know the Greek symbols. And you know what? This was actually brought out by one of the brothers out there, the brother Tamyad in Saints of Jersey. He did a lesson going into this, and he mentioned that, hey, it's in the shape of Omega. All right. And Omega, the Greek symbol of Omega, means the end. Because the Lord Yahushua is known as the what? The Alpha and the Omega. And he's soon to return to bring in the end of this society and the beginning of the kingdom of heaven. Let's pull that up, man, real quick so you can see what I'm saying. The Greek symbol Omega. You see that shape right there, the river? All right, now watch this. All right, so here are some images of the Greek symbol Omega. You see how that is? That's what that river looks like, man. All right. It's in the shape of the Omega, which means the end. The end is here, man. The end of all things is at hand. All right. Let's play a little bit more of this.
Looking at the current condition, it might be drying up faster than anyone could imagine. If extreme heat and drought continue, the Euphrates could be gone from Iraq by 2027. That's not a speculation. It's plain reality that is unfolding before our eyes. As you can see, the Euphrates River in Iraq has been reduced to a trickle in many regions. In some areas, it has stopped flowing. The water is too polluted to drink, and even fish can't survive in it. What was once a lifeline for millions is now fading into crisis.
I'm gonna pause it right there. All right. So, yeah, you get the point, man. You see what's going on, man. The word of the Lord, Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai, playing out in the earth. All right. This is an evident sign that war is coming. Not just any war, the last war. Now, I got to bring this out. This is the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. I'm going to jump around because I'm not going to read the entire chapter for time's sake. But I'm going to get the main points, all right? This is going into the last war. And the Lord is bringing it for, punishment upon the heathen nations, all right, that had a hand in our affliction. Okay, so Joel chapter 3 and verse 1, it says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem," meaning we're in the time of the Lord undoing our punishment. You see, he's going to take us out of this captivity. All right, because if you know, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, the 12 tribes, we were put into captivity for our rebellion against the Lord, and he set the heathen above us, and the heathen treated us very, very harshly. But guess what? Now the Lord is showing mercy unto his chosen people, the Israelites, the 12 tribes, and he's getting ready to put judgment and punishment upon all those who afflicted us, these heathen nations, Arabs included. All right. So he's going to make them go to war with each other. That's a sign of our freedom as well. So it goes on to say, verse 2, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat." Or it says Jehoshaphat, but In the Hebrew, it's Yahweh Shaphat. And it means the Lord's judgment. That's what's coming. And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel. All right, the true Israelites, not those fake ones that are over there now. It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. All right, they had us in slavery, man. Okay. So now the Lord's finna pay you back. All right, now let's read a little bit more. It says, verse 4, yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? If ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Meaning you're not going to undo this, man. Okay, you heathen get ready to pay. Verse 5, it says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. All right, you see what I'm saying? And the Israelites were likened to the silver and the gold that was taken into captivity by these heathen nations. The main one being Esau, Edom. All right, the so-called white race. They're getting ready to pay. World War III is a token sign of their destruction. That's where they're going down. All the heathen are going to be cast down in this war. All right. Now it says, verse 6, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. And these other heathen nations, they sold us into captivity unto these Edomites. All right. Mainly these, the Hamites, those so-called Africans over there that are not of the nation of Israel. All right. They sold the Israelites into the hands of these damn devils. So they're getting ready to pay for that. All right. You see? Let's jump down real quick. Verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. You see that? Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. The Lord is orchestrating World War III, man. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's symbolic of these nations, all right, that were, pretty much getting beat up on by, the U.S. and Israel. They're now standing up, bucking up against the U.S. and the state of Israel. All right, they're turning their economies towards war, man. They're putting money into tools of war, man, missiles, ammo, guns. All right, because they're getting ready for war, this last war that's gonna take place. It's gonna happen. There's no avoiding it. There's not gonna be any peace talks that are gonna be successful. It's over, man. We're entering into the judgment of the heathen. All right, so now you got these weaker nations now saying that they're strong, man. A lot of them have nuclear weapons. You see, verse 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, Bashmi Yahushai. So, like I said, the Lord is gathering the heathen, all right, over there in the so-called Middle East or Western Asia. That's what it's really supposed to be called. But they're gathering over there because they're getting ready for war, man. Okay, Russia will be involved. All the heathen nations are going to be involved in this, man. The Chinese, Japanese, the U.S., state of Israel, they're all going to be gathered together to go to war. All right, it's going to be fought over there in that area. Okay, it says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. You see, the judgment of the heathen. They finna obliterate themselves, man, in this war. Verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Check it out. Now it says here, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Yahushai, is near in the valley of decision. Yeah, the day of the Lord, man, is going to be a day of mass death and destruction. Day of judgment, man. Finally, the Lord is finna get you fucking heathens. Excuse my French. Because all y'all had a hand in our suffering, man. The Arabs, the so-called white man, the Edomites, all your nations, the Russians included, you're gonna pay for what you've done to the Israelites, man. Point blank, period. And we just telling you before it happens, as the scriptures tell us. Okay. So the day of the Lord is near, man. That entails World War III, the War of Armageddon. And real quick, here's the AI overview for that verse right there, Joel 3 and verse 14. All right. It says, this verse emphasizes the urgency and significance of the impending judgment and the choices that people must make. If you have any specific questions, need further context, all right, hold on, let me see. So yeah, the impending judgment, all right, that's coming for you heathen. And those of you that are in the military, you Israelites that are in the U.S. military, understand that you're getting ready to get sent over there to the Middle East. And you're gonna die over there, man. You're not gonna make it back home. All right, that's what's going on right now. There's gonna be a draft, and many men are gonna die in this third world war that's being orchestrated right now as we speak. So here's a little bit more, all right, in the AI overview. All right, it says context and meaning for Joel 3 and verse 14. All right, it says this phrase refers to a significant place where judgment is rendered. It symbolizes a gathering of nations for a divine judgment. There's going to be angels involved in this as well, man. The Lord said he's going to gather his mighty ones, which are the angels, the hosts of heaven, which would be those so-called UFOs that everybody's talking about, man. They're finna get active in this time. So it's going to be a war like none other, man. It says multitudes. The repetition emphasizes the vast number of people present, highlighting the urgency and seriousness of the situation. All right. And people are just walking around like ain't nothing happening. They get ready to have a draft, man. All right. Day of the Lord. This term indicates a time of reckoning and divine intervention, suggesting that the Most High's judgment is imminent. Okay. This verse serves as a call to awareness about the impending judgment and the need for individuals to make crucial decisions regarding their faith and actions. So yeah, now it's time to repent. You Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, and you Israelite foreigners that look like the other nations, but by your father's seed line, you're an Israelite. You go back to the one of the 12 tribes. It's time to repent, man. All right? Time is short. The end of all things is at hand. And we understand that before it goes nuclear, because it will get nuclear. All right, understand that. They're going to have the RFID microchip to be made mandatory, which is the mark of the beast. That's coming. That's on the table right now. That's being talked about. So we here, man. Oh, and best believe if you're in the military, you know what I'm saying? They're going to make you take that RFID microchip, man. The mark of the beast. Know that. All right, now here's the verse right here that talks about that word Armageddon. I mentioned it earlier. The last war. It says, Revelation 16, verse 16, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon. All right, now let's get into that word Armageddon real quick in the Hebrew. So pretty much the word Armageddon or Harmageddon in the Hebrew, it means mountain of troops when you put it together. Now you have the two root words right here because it's pretty much two words put together. All right. You have this one, Har. It means hill, mountain. Okay. Now it goes on to say the next word, Megiddo or Megadon, it means place of crowds. So mountain of people, man, which will be the militaries that are going to go to war over there in that region. Okay. See a place in Palestine, that area over there, the Middle East. Okay. That's where the war is going to take place at. That's going to be the main site of World War III. So real quick, this is Isaiah 34 and verse 8. This also goes into these times that we're in, the day of the Lord, right? This is Isaiah 34 and verse 8. It says, for it is the day of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Now, Zion is representative of the Israelites, the nation of Israel. And that's the biggest controversy on the planet right now, man. These damn elites, all right, starting with the elites of Esau and these other heathen nations have hid our identity from us for the longest, all right? They told us that we were just so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and whatnot, when we're actually the Lord's chosen people. And they're getting ready to pay for all that they've done unto us, man. All right? Even unto this day. They look down on us and talk shit about us and afflict us. They finna pay. All right? We're in that time. Call Allah Yahweh Shemi Awashai. Righteous judgment will go forth. And there's no sidestepping it. All right, I got to bring this out because this goes into what's going on right now with the situation with those Muslims trying to make an alliance to go against the state of Israel, right? All right, the term Dragons of Arabia. And it's spoken of in Salakia in 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 29. Let's get that real quick. So this is 2nd Esdras 15 and 29. It says, matter of fact, let me zoom out a little bit. All right, so here we have 2nd Esdras 15. I'm going to start at verse 26, okay? Now it says, for the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. So you wicked 2/3, man, you're going to be delivered unto death and destruction, you know, in this third world war. You know, if you're not already in the military, you're going to be drafted. All right. So, yeah, that goes into that as well. Now, verse 27, it says, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. All right, the eastern part of the world, man. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Yeah, these Arabs, they're stirred up. They're pissed off. All right, so something's about to happen with them, man. Verse 30. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath, those are also Arabs, all right, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. They're joining battle, man. They're all making an alliance right now, as we saw in that video clip. And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And the modern day Assyrians are the Edomites, the so-called white race. Okay. You see? So yeah, man, that's the point right there. All right. You know, I'll read this one too. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. Because, Ishmael, right? Because the Arabs, they're of the seed of Ishmael. And Ishmael, you know, he's a wild man. All right, they're wild. That's why they got all them damn suicide bombers and all that crazy shit, because that's their nature, as the scriptures tell us. So they finna get buck wild out here, man. The Lord is stirring them up for this third world's war. All right. It says, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. So that's the point, man. These nations are being stirred up. All right, the Lord is stirring up these damn Arabs and these Muslims to come against the state of Israel in the West. All right, and allies are going to get involved. Russia's going to get involved. China and all these other nations are going to get involved, man. Hence World War III. Okay, so I got to bring this out as well. All right, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 16. I'm going to start at verse 33. It's talking about the women, how they're going to have no men to, protect them in these times, because they're going to die in the wars, a lot of them. So this is 2nd Esdras 16 and verse 33. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. A lot of men are getting ready to die, because that's what happens in war. Men go to war and they die. All right. This also goes into Isaiah 4 and 1, where 7 women will take hold of one man of the Lord, man. Verse 34. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. There you go. You see that? A lot of men are getting ready to die in these wars that are coming up, man. The ultimate war being, World War III. The last war. Okay? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this dude has a damn leaf blower or a weed whacker. Salaki for that noise in the background. But anyway, that's the point, man. The point has been made. I don't want to make this too long. Gotta head out. But yeah, you see it, man. Prophecy is playing out. World War III is at hand. Don't be distracted by the things that are going on. The different bread and circuses that Esau is throwing out. Understand where we at. Be on the lookout for a military draft. World War III is still heating up. And it's biblical prophecy, man. And a symbol of a symbol of the end of our oppression and the recompense to these heathen who afflicted us. So I'm in this lesson right here. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, and Kwam Yasharala in the Bible Ball. Shalom to the elect.